This video was made possible by 𝒄𝒄𝒍, the main distributor for Viltrox. Links will be in the description if you want to pick up this lens for yourself. Thanks, 𝒄𝒄𝒍. What's up, everybody? I'm 𝑧Wade, the 𝑧Wade, and 𝑧Wade Photo, and here it is. The Viltrox AF 56mm f1.7. This is a DX lens. The most important thing with any lens, let's be up front here, is the images you can get with it. I'm not going to cheat you though, we're going to run through the whole thing. It weighs absolutely nothing because it's made pretty much entirely of plastic. They do, however, give us a metal mount. The focus ring can be done with one hand and it's incredibly smooth. Looking at the back here, we do have a USB-C opening there, so I assume that there is the ability to have firmware updates in the future. The machining tolerance is pretty good, there's not a whole lot of slop. The rear lens cap is an extremely good fit. You can actually kind of feel it give and before it actually stops, and that's really nice. That's not going anywhere. The front lens cap, it's just kind of so-so. Now this itty-bitty lens hood here, which is made of plastic, but it feels okay sturdy, it's a little finicky, which you'll see in the live shoot. What you gotta do is you have to line up a dot on the side here with the Viltrox label facing towards me right now. You line that up, finagle it, and then once it goes on, then you can turn it. But even when you do, it's just not, like, it's not on there very good. Like, it takes nothing to actually pop it off. Yeah, so that's a little finicky. Let's check out the description of this lens. With the Viltrox AF 56mm f1.7 APS-C lens, we get autofocus that's driven by an STM stepper motor, f1.7 aperture, and a construction of 11 elements and 9 groups, 4 of which are ED, and 3 lenses with high refractive index. We also have something called multi-layer coating. Now, I can't find a description of what that is, but we can see right here that we do get quite a bit of rainbow effect and glaring and haze. You can pick this lens up at any of the links that were provided to me. They'll be in the description for about $139 at the making of this video. The lens will arrive very nicely packaged. It is in this little, very thin foam pouch inside of a nice, snug foam inner box. All of your literature and the free candy will be on top of this part here. It then has a top box, which then goes into a sleeve. So I know it seems a little petty, but I actually do judge any piece of gear on how it's packaged. Because if they package it with care, it means that they care about the well-being of the contents within. So great packaging on that. It's just about time that I think we went out and did some testing. But first, I want to encourage you to become a member of the channel. Members get access to all of my content way ahead of time. They also get access to uncut and uncensored videos, as well as member-only content. Also, as a thank you to my members, I will be giving this lens away to one of my members. The only restriction is you gotta live in the United States. Thank you again for being a member. So right before we jump into the live testing, that is exactly what this is testing. We're not shooting for art, we're not shooting for my portfolio or for printing. So these are just kind of basic tests that are just a step up from shooting at blank brick walls. I don't currently have a crop sensor camera, so today I'm just going to use the Nikon Z8. It will automatically go into DX mode, and the video you see is the Nikon Z9. In this first test, I just want to see what kind of detail we can get, and also get a gauge of the colors. Now we're going to stop down to check the effects of diffraction and see what the sweet spot is. It seems like it achieves a good base level sharpness at about f2 or f2.8. I have all corrections turned off in my cameras, and surprisingly, I don't see a huge effect of diffraction. Good job, Viltrox. In this video clip taken with the Nikon Z8 and the Viltrox 56mm f1.7, we can see some pretty terrifically slow autofocus. This is another video clip with the Z8 and the Viltrox 56mm. I actually find the colors to be really good with this lens, and I've yet to see any noticeable vignetting. I noted that the bokeh on this lens is actually really pleasing, so I'm down here on the ground to take a picture that'll really give us some bokeh. Sure, it gets a little cat's eye, or lemon like I like to call it, out at the edges, but it has a nice structure, kind of a dreamy effect to it, which I think is really great for 139 bucks. I was really taking these shots so I could get an idea of any vignetting, and I'm still just not seeing any. But this does show me that there are some imperfections in the coatings. Here, I'm just going to take some shots for this particular color, and it's pretty darn saturated. And this bright wall would be the best opportunity to see any vignetting at f1.7, and I just don't see a significant amount. Very nice, Viltrox. This video was taken with the Z8 and the Viltrox 56mm. This video was taken with the Z8 and the Viltrox 56mm. I just took these shots to play around with the apertures a little bit, give us an idea of color, and play with the backgrounds a little bit. And in this shot, I wanted to check the black and white ability, and this lens is probably not the best for black and white, but it's decent. This is also a good opportunity to check how good it would do at the shallow depth of field photography that I love. Of course, there's softness at f1.7, which doesn't make it a good fit for my shallow depth of field specific photography, but you definitely do get a good narrow depth of field. And just for comparison, this image was shot with the Nikon Z8 and the Nikkor Z50mm f1.2. Now that's not a fair comparison. This lens is like $1,700 cheaper, but you can see differences. But while the Viltrox 56mm f1.7 does have great contrast at $140, unfair as it may be, this is black and white versus black and white, and sharpness wide open versus sharpness wide open. Oh, and I almost forgot. Here's some random pictures of Stella. And as long as you're not at minimum focus distance, even at f1.7, it is decently sharp, certainly sharper than many lenses were wide open not that long ago. So I'd say good job, Viltrox. Overall, you clearly cannot expect this lens to perform like many lenses that are much more expensive. I do think, however, at $139 at the making of this video, this is a pretty good offering. Especially since at the making of this video, Nikon doesn't seem particularly interested in providing an array of DX lenses for its DX users. You might want to consider subscribing to the channel because while this video was made possible by Pergear, who is a retailer of Viltrox, before I even made this video, Viltrox reached out to me wanting me to test another Viltrox lens. And I don't think you're going to want to miss that. Where else are you going to get absolute unbiased honesty? With no frills, no BS, no extra kickbacks for me if I'm nice. I'm Z-Wade, the Z-Wade, and Z-Wade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.